But tonight, we have a member of the PDP, a chieftain of the PDP, joining us virtually from Ibadan, Oyo State capital. Is Honorable Adeleke, who joins us virtually from Ibadan to speak on what ensued today in a renewed call for the removal of Senator Yocha Ayu. Thank you so much, Honorable Adeleke, for joining us tonight on the program. Give us a sense of how much of a drawback is this for your party, where a lot of parties and different persons are already talking about issues, how to move the nation forward. Your party is still trying to debate or debating whether Ayu should go or not should go.
Yeah, good evening and thanks for having me. The fact is that we held a meeting today, that's the stakeholders for the Southwest, and the leader of the party in the zone, Engineer Seyi Makinde, reiterated the decision of the Southwest leaders that Senator Yocha Ayu must resign. I mean, for the sake of equity, fairness, and justice. And that's the basis. And for the simple fact that, as you are aware, that when we're talking about the either constitutional issue or whatever, you know, we all know that whenever such issue came up, it sounds so political and unrealistic. But what we are trying to do now is that it's a family affairs, like the presidential candidate said, but it has some political, constitutional undertone. But the fact is that we must do this. The campaign starts by 20th of September. And what we are saying is that Yocha Ayu must resign so that we could just move ahead. And that is the basis for today's meeting. And that's the voice of the Southwest, not the voice of Governor Seyi Makinde. It is the voice of the entire Southwest of the PDP.
But, I mean, in these, I mean, it's established, and perhaps it's not only Governor Seyi Makinde, someone like a member of the BOT, Chief Bode George, has also clamored. He's also asked for that the chairman should go, considering the ethnic and the regional balancing. Now, issue of the Constitution comes to play. And for those who understand how this position play out, how they happen, the process is leading to people getting into office, you will understand that all of these offices, all of these strata, they come based on regional and regional consideration. So it then means that there will be a chairman from the north, there will be a vice chairman from the north, a vice chairman from the south. Naturally, if the chairman goes, the deputy national chairman from the north takes over from him. There will definitely be a constitutional crisis if only Ayu is removed. This is the argument and the debate some members of your party are putting forward. Is the Southwest of the PDP, like you said, considering what could become a major constitutional crisis for your party?
Look, sure, like I already said the other time, is whenever you're trying to play politics, you come in with unnecessary constitutional issue. So many chairmen have been removed several times, and even if Governor Wike himself will remove his kinsman, secondus, without any constitutional relevance. Of course, there are traditions and there are constitutions. But what we're expecting is that tradition should be in play now. It could be the kitty. That's what we're expecting our leader.
So that's the point I'm making, Honorable Adeleke, that should Senator Yocha Ayu go, because if your members in the Southwest are saying that they want a representation, because the candidate is from the north, the chairman is from the north, automatically, constitutionally speaking, in your party, if the chairman is removed, another person from the north, from his region, will have to replace him. It doesn't solve your problem, has it?
So this is the issue. You ought to realize that the convention has given the power to the NEC, and the NEC has the power to even decide within the curve of the NEC. They could decide that the deputy national chairman should resign, and while the South should take over. And that's what I expected of the whole scene. We are not saying that the deputy national, like today, the national chairman acted as the chairman of the party at the program today. But nobody raised any objection to that. But we're talking of the moral side of it. We're not talking constitutional side of it. It could be the NEC has such power to dissolve and to do whatever vested on them by the convention.
An alternative that is obvious is for your party to go into a national convention, an elective national convention. Should you remove him and you don't want a northerner as the chairman, is for you to go into an elective national convention. Can your party afford it, considering that campaigns are going to start? That is a possible option, constitutionally speaking.
Look, everybody, what we are saying is that this is a party that we feel that we need to win the election. Nigerians are yearning for changes. That is the only thing we could do right now, is to make sure that we have something to campaign in the South. The Southwest, we are lack. Okay, what do you want? We have had the issue during the Jonathan regime that we have, of course, we allow everything just to move on the way they wanted it to be. But we were shortchanged in political appointment and some other things. But now, if we don't have it right now, we have to correct it before the campaign starts.
So what will happen if we imagine that these things, nothing changes, because the NEC has met and gave a vote of confidence on the national chairman. If you go into the campaign and nothing changes, what will happen?
The vote of confidence passed on Yochayu was, nobody contested it with anybody. We never mobilized. As a matter of fact, some of our people even left the Congress. It was state managed, and we are not bothered about, we are not fighting anybody, we are not trying to wrestle anything. But what we are talking about, the moral side of it, and we want to resign peacefully. It's a family affair. It's a party. We are not fighting the APC. We are fighting, it's a battle of this, it's the issue we are talking about. And what we are just saying right now is that if I were Ayu will have just been very magnanimous to resign peacefully and give the and let the peace reign. But in this situation, some sycophants are moving around the candidate of the party, telling him that he shouldn't resign. For what would they gain?
Could this debacle, Mr. Adeleke, could this debacle cost your party dearly in this election if it's not resolved before the campaign starts? Oh dear, we're having some challenges with the connection there. Well, let's bring in yet another person who is a supporter of Atiku Abubakar. He's a former aide to former President Goodluck Jonathan, Mr. Reno Omokiri. He joins us virtually from London. Thank you so much, Mr. Omokiri, for joining us tonight. Give us a sense of what you make of the situation within the PDP. And I asked Honorable Adeleke if he thinks that this debacle could cost the party dearly going in. I mean, if it's not resolved before the campaign starts.
Well, you know, for the People's Democratic Party, I mean, I heard the gentleman talking. He said that Wike removed seconders. And that's the problem. We don't want a party where individuals can remove people. We want a party that the Constitution is supreme, not individuals. And so the candidate, the presidential candidate, has spoken very wisely. He said, listen, let's allow, and he used 4 words, the Constitution, rules, regulations, and procedures to follow. Traditionally in our party, and I've been a member of this party, you know, since its origin from 1999. Traditionally in our party, when you have a candidate who is from the north, what happens is that if he gets elected, all positions that were previously held by his zone will now revert to the south. But until he's elected, you maintain the status quo. So, I mean, we have the Constitution. If we start acting in an ad hoc manner, it's not going to all go well for us. We need to, because you have to understand, a Constitution is a fountain of origin. You know, it's what they call fonds de origo. You know, so it's a lighthouse that guards a ship to land. Some of the problems that, or rather some of the challenges that the PDP has had in the past is because individuals have had their ways rather than the Constitution. So it's necessary at this point in time for us to bring order into the system. What does the Constitution say? What do our rules say? What do our regulations say? What does the procedure say? And then we follow through.
The worry of some members of your party is that these internal issues can consume it. I mean, we've seen in the past, 2015, the party was enmeshed in internal issues, and it dragged on and on until it went into the 2015 election, and the PDP lost.
Well, I mean, that's not going to happen this time around. You talked about this fellow who just spoke. He is, let's say, a crony of Governor Seyi Makinde. If you listen to what Governor Seyi Makinde said in Ibadan, he actually called Waziri Atiku Abubakar the incoming president of Nigeria. He already gave his full and total commitment. He said so. So this is a storm in the teacup. You got to look. Look, right now, you've got three major candidates. Of the three major candidates, Atiku Abubakar is the only national candidate. He's the only prepared candidate. If you talk about someone like Peter Obi is a regional candidate, and so there's very, very little opportunity.
What do you mean by regional candidate, Mr. Omokiri?
Well, I was going to explain that before you interjected. If you look at it, I'll give you a very good example now. Okay, now, IPOB, they had a sit at home yesterday, Tuesday, September 13th, 2022. Now, Obedience and PDP, who normally have things every day in the Southeast, they obeyed that IPOB sit at home. And this is not the first time. Every time, because normally, previously, IPOB used to have it on Mondays. Obedience, they obey. Peter Obi himself obeys it. They've never held anything on the day that IPOB has their sit at home. Now, this shows that they are obeying IPOB rather than our constitution. If you talk about someone like Bola Tinubu, I mean, you saw it on TV. It went viral in Ogun State, where he was giving his basis for contesting this election, for wanting to be president. He said in Yoruba that it was the turn of the Southwest, and Ninu Southwest, Emilio Kon. So that's the basis. It's already a regional basis. Our candidate is the only candidate that's not coming from a regional basis, from an ethnic basis, from a religious basis. He said, I'm a unifier, I'm ready. And if you look at him, the man is ready. Look at what he said at the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Look at he said what he's done in his private life, he's only been able to do for Nigeria. In his private life, look at his businesses. I mean, he's got Rico Gado, which is the largest feed company in Nigeria, employs 2,400 people, very successful. He's got Gotel, which is a large telecommunication company. He's got the American University of Nigeria, Yola, employs 2,700 people. He's got Adama Beverages, they produce waters. He's got Chicken Cottage, and now he's bringing the Nigerian German hospital to Abuja, so where they're building a 250-bed hospital. So you can see that this man is seasoned. So he's not going to be learning on the job. He's ready to go. I mean, and he said so. He said in his first 100 days in office, he's going to have a $10 billion fund for micro, small, and medium-scale enterprises. So this is a national leader. This is a leader that is ready to go. And look, Nigeria right now is going through very, very stormy weather. And if you're going through stormy weather, you don't want a pilot who's going to tell you, I know how to fly in stormy weather. You want one who's going to tell you, I have flown in stormy weather. And Atiku Abubakar has flown in stormy weather. He was the chairman of the National Economic Council, 1999 to 2007, where Nigeria paid off her entire debt, foreign debt, to the Paris Club, and then also when Nigeria was having her highest, GDP growth rate, 6.7%. And if you see, yesterday, the president, Muhammadu Buhari, was in Imo State, and he was complaining. He said that when he came in, he met crude oil at $38 per barrel. Well, at the time Atiku and Obasanjo paid off Nigeria's debt, crude oil was $22 per barrel, but they paid it off. So we have a candidate that is ready to go.
Now, there is, and I see that you are engaged in that conversation. I mean, it's dirty sometimes, it's hurtful sometimes, and it's the ethnic and the religious politics that is being played. And largely, if the campaigns have not started yet, but yet we can see the engagement is tilting towards this direction. Is it healthy for our politics?
Well, it's not healthy, but if you have a candidate like Peter Obi who comes out and then reads an unverified broadcast alleging that he was from Bola Tinubu and saying that the Yoruba should not vote for him because he was from the Southeast and he's Igbo, and as a matter of fact, that broadcast was found out that it was actually from a guy called Powell Glad Legbe, who is an obedient. So, I mean, if you have a candidate, this is somebody at the top of the pyramid saying this, I mean, you cannot expect people who know the truth to keep quiet. They've got to be a fight back and say, no, you can't say this, and which is what a lot of people did. So if you have somebody like Peter B saying that, if you have somebody and people at that very level speaking like that, you've got to set the record straight. We can't say, okay, today is the 14th. We've got exactly 2 weeks for the campaigns to start, and then we'll be respecting that. But when you have a candidate coming out to say what Peter Obi said, obviously, I mean, people who love Nigeria, people who love the unity of Nigeria are not going to keep quiet. There's going to be a pushback.
So, It does look like some of those who are in your party believing that it's going to be a free ride for your party, and those who think that your party members are jittery because of a Peter Obi in the race, who knows your party very well because he ran with your presidential candidate on the same ticket in 2019. It appears there's some jitters. Can you feel it from what people are saying?
There's nothing like that. You know, Peter Obi is just a paperweight politician, and I'm going to prove my point. I mean, this is a man. Look, Nigerians right now, what's happening is that there's a lot of cyberbullying from Peter Obi's supporters, and it's organized. You know, a lot of them are linked to some groups which I'm not going to mention here. And so people are not feeling free to speak up on what they believe because they're afraid of that cyberbullying. When the elections come, you're going to see it. We saw it in Osun State. We saw how, we won convincingly. Look, for example, Peter Obi talks about moving Nigeria from consumption to production. Yet this man is the single largest individual importer in Nigeria. You go to his 234 next cash and carry. When you walk in, about 90% of the goods there are imported. As a matter of fact, the Central Bank of Nigeria said the reason why Dangote's tomato puree company in Kano was having challenges, if you recall, they had to shut down, they had to shed staff, is because of people like Peter Obi who are importing cheaper foreign products. In this case, it's importing Heinz tomato ketchup and paste. And so those are what are driving the Naira down. They're putting pressure on the Naira down. If you have a candidate like Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, he's manufacturing in Nigeria. That is what we need to increase the value of the Naira. So if you look at all the candidates, take someone like Bola Tinubu, we know he's stinkingly rich, but where is his money coming from? You know, there are issues about his age, there are issues about his parentage, there are issues about his education. We don't have those issues with Waziri Atiku Abubakar. You know, everything about him is very, even he is the most investigated politician in Nigeria, and he's come out clean as a whistle. So listen, we are ready to go. We're going to win this election, you know, it is certain.
Now, if you say there are issues with other candidates, but it does look like you're not seeing anyone with your candidate. For those who have questioned age and competence of those who are running in the race, and you think that your candidate also can't be asked that question. It can't also be put on that pedestal and be questioned about age of those who are contesting in the race.
Of course, he can be put, he can be questioned. When he's questioned, he gives an answer. Bola Tinubu has been questioned. Has he given an answer? So look at that. If you ask Waziri Atiku Abubakar a question on any issue, he gives an answer. Waziri Atiku Abubakar sat down for 1 hour with Arise Television. They brought in their top gun, Ruben Abadi, and Mr. Abiola. They interviewed him, and he answered every question. He didn't dodge any. Bola Tinubu has not sat for even a 10-minute interview. So the man is ready. You know, I'll give a very good example. The Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry invited all the 3 major presidential candidates to speak. They gave Waziri Atiku Abubakar a slot. He came at the appropriate time, he spoke, and then he left. What happened? Today, Peter Obi, who was meant to have been speaking, has postponed his speech. He said, well, I'm postponing the speech. We don't know why. He's going to be speaking on Monday, September 19th. Now, Bola Tinubu has said, okay, he's not ready to speak until October 28th. So right there, you are seeing that, look, this man is ready. He's been circumnavigating the country. You know, I mean, if you look at Peter Obi, he showed political naivety going to foreign countries. I wish diaspora Nigerians could vote, but they can't vote. Now, if you're a politician and then you have an election coming and then you're going to foreign country to foreign country to go and campaign to people who cannot vote, it shows your political lack of wisdom. Waziri Atiku Abubakar has been going around this country. Some states, he's been to those states 4 times, like you just mentioned Ibadan, or your state, he's been to Ibadan 4 times. At least each and every state in Nigeria has been there a minimum of once. So look, we are ready. You know, I mean, we wish the election were tomorrow. We're going to win hands down.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Reno Omokiri. Honorable Adeleke has since been back, but we're totally out of time on this segment. But thank you so much, gentlemen, for speaking about your party and your candidate. Thank you indeed.